How's it going, everyone? Wayne the Unknown here, and welcome to another episode of Cosplay Con Talk, where we basically discuss everything pertaining to the cosplay community and conventions. Tonight, we are doing another segment on Get to Know That Cosplayer, and tonight's special guest cosplayer is Hazel, also known as That Shady Haze. How are we doing tonight, Hazel?
Hi guys. I'm doing well actually. It's Friday night. I have my sister's 30th birthday tomorrow. So we've been preparing for the past month and yeah.
Sounds
So
like
looking
a
forward to the weekend.
sounds like a lot to get prepared for, especially within a month.
Yes. We've been preparing decorations, food, having a guest list with friends and family. So I'm super excited for that. And of course, since con season is back, I've been, using my weekends to
That con
work on
crunch.
cosplay. Yes, to work on cosplays because, with the pandemic, people are either not working on cosplays or, working on cosplays in little increments until the world is,
Um,
more safe.
that's why I'm just doing simple closet cosplays this year.
There you go. That is the best cosplay, to be honest. That's what I did all summer, last summer. And even now, it's comfy, it's easy to put on, and it's sometimes it's your actual clothes that you actually wear.
Exactly. That's pretty much how I'm doing it this year for two local cons. So to begin, actually, speaking of, what got you into cosplaying?
So I actually went to Baltimore ComicCon in Maryland in 2017, which was around Halloween, the Halloween month, so October. I went
Nice.
to the convention. I Prior to that, I actually went to AwesomeCon and I saw people cosplaying. I never knew that was a hobby or, a career or
AwesomeCon.
whatnot.
What does AwesomeCon sound so familiar?
AwesomeCon is in DC, so that's like the biggest con in the DC, Maryland,
Okay.
Virginia area. And then Baltimore Comic Con is like popular more towards comic book artists in the Maryland area. But AwesomeCon tailors to everything: cosplay, comic book writers, artists, panels, workshops, all that.
Basically everything nerd and geek related.
Yes. Yes, everything geek related. So I went to AwesomeCon and I saw people cosplaying. So I was like, oh my gosh, I need to cosplay because this seems fun. Because I've collected comic books since I was like 7. Like X-Men was a huge influence, Pokemon, Disney. So I decided, oh, let me just buy a costume online, go to Baltimore Comic Con and cosplay and see if I like it. Because at the time I graduated from college and I wanted to do something new. So as soon as like started cosplaying, I was like, oh, I really love this. I love the concept that everyone's like, collabing in photo shoots. People are talking with each other. It's like like a social event, and you can cosplay your favorite, you know, characters that are like fictional, and bring it to life, and you can do your own take on the characters. So that's how I got started, and meeting new people was my biggest thing because once you graduate from college, it's a different ball game. You're like a super adult, so it was
Leveling up.
good. It was good for me just because I can be in a new community besides, college. And, when you're in college, you're like always studying, trying to like graduate and whatnot. So being in cosplay, it was like fun. It was entertaining. I challenged myself in making costumes and props and learning from YouTube, trial and error. So the biggest thing was that I could cosplay any character. So that's why I started and still continuing to cosplay. I can cosplay any character that I like. So I love Nightwing, I love Cyclops, and there's like so much free for all in what design you want and what creativity you have.
Oh no, definitely. Speaking of, what was your very first cosplay?
Cosplay. My very first cosplay is a Nightwing suit. I did not make it. I made the eskrima sticks out of um, these pipes from Home Depot, and I taped it with electric tape, and I put these like LED blue lights. But the costume itself was, where was it? It was a Hunger Games Katniss Everdeen like black suit, and then I saw this like rubber emblem of Nightwing. I put it on cosplay on the costume, and then I bought this mask from Etsy. So that was my first cosplay.
Oh, so you did his
And I was
original.
like, oh,
So you did his black and blue outfit from like
yeah, yeah, his
the new
original like
Adventures
blue.
of. Wait, the
Yeah.
original from when, like the light blue one, or?
the dark blue. So like the typical blue, the V blue, the dark blue or the royal blue,
Okay,
but not the light blue.
okay. For a minute, I thought you were talking about his like his the black suit with the blue emblem, like from the animated series.
Oh no, no, no. This one is more of. I'm trying to think what version it was. I think I was just like, oh, Nightwing. I'm just gonna get an emblem from Etsy and just call it a day. So I
Nice.
didn't know. I didn't even know like there was like other resources. It was like, oh, I need to figure out a costume because I didn't even know Baltimore ComicCon was a thing. I thought the only con we had in our area was AwesomeCon since I was still new, like very new. I was like, oh, what other cons do they have here? And I saw on Facebook that there was Baltimore Comic Con. So I was like, oh, there's more cons and there's Facebook groups for Comic Cons in the area. And I was like, wait, there is so many Comic Cons in the area. I'm learning.
You
So
you'll
learning
you'll
as I
you'll be
go.
surprised once you find out one. You see, oh, there's like you said, there's others. So how did you find out about so what was Baltimore Comic Con like?
Baltimore Comic Con is really interesting. Since it was like my first con that I was cosplaying and I had like a handful of friends that I met and I hung out with. The cosplay community there was like huge. It's in a convention center, so there's like a lot of space for people to do photo shoots, and then there's like a big artist alley and vendors hall, and then with that, people like were doing photo shoots outside too. Like there's groups where like, oh, the Marvel shoots. Everyone that has a Marvel cosplay would gather around and do
The
a
group
shoot, and
photo shoots and everything.
yeah, the group photo shoots were like really fun for me because that was when I like met new cosplayers who were in the area. We exchanged social media handles and we could like collab in the future or since I was new, I was like, oh, how do you, like if I found a cosplay, I was like, oh, how'd you make that? And they're like, oh, you can follow me and have like tutorials and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is great. So like, using them as a reference and how to like create, armor or like parts of your costume. So I really actually like it as being my first con because it was similar to AwesomeCon, like same vibe with, all of the aspects what the geek world wants. Like, there's comic book writers, art, everything. So I actually really enjoyed it.
Nice. If I'm ever in the Baltimore DC area, I'll definitely have to check them out.
Yeah, they're having their con in October. It's I think it's gonna be smaller this year because of course with COVID.
COVID and everything.
But
Yeah.
AwesomeCon is coming up. So AwesomeCon is on August 20th, which I'm a guest at, so I'm gonna be a cosplay guest at.
Nice.
So I'm very excited for that because I since I went there in 2017, it's like, oh wow, it's full circle. Like, it's the first cosplay and now I'm now a guest. So hopefully everything goes well and the world like stays open so we can have awesome con pull through. I'm gonna have different panels and workshops all weekend too, so
Nice. And how many days is that con?
it is going to be Friday through Sunday, so 10 a.m. each day. And Friday and Saturday I think it's going to be the showroom closes like around 8 or 10, and then Sunday of course at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
But it's great because it's a everything. It tailors to every aspect of the geek culture. So if anyone's in the DC area, they should definitely go.
No, definitely keep that in mind for for future
Yeah, of course.
for future years for sure. Now, so what is some advice that you would like to give for first time cosplayers? Because I know with COVID, a lot of people are a lot like over the years, a lot more people have been finding out about cosplay. From like back
Yeah.
when I like started
Oh,
here in
yes.
2009 to now. What advice would you like to give for first time cosplayers and congoers?
So if you're a cosplayer, my perspective, my opinion is, just pick a character you actually like and you relate to, and just research about the character. So you can easily Google the character's name and cosplay, and there's going to be so many references on Google. You can search it on Etsy, on social media like Instagram and Facebook, and all the references is going to help you like see other creators and their cosplay, where they get their items, and you can, piggyback on that and use that as a reference to, get your costumes or how to make your costume or buy it. Of course, anyone can cosplay. And with the pandemic, there's a lot of new cosplay creators coming into like Instagram and TikTok, which TikTok has, skyrocketed
Oh
over the
God,
summer.
Yeah, first there
Yeah,
first there was Musically, now there's TikTok, and
yeah. So it's actually TikTok is Musically. It was like a Musically was first, and then another owner bought it and turned it to TikTok. But that's where a lot of like new cosplayers are coming from because, a lot of people are not doing photo shoots during the pandemic. They're at home. So another way to create content is, create these short form videos whether it's comedy skits, acting, dancing, all these like fun challenges. So a lot of new cosplayers that I met virtually are from TikTok, and now they're, you know, submerging into Instagram because now that the world is kind of, getting
reopening.
back to normal, people are like doing photo shoots now because that's the original kind of content that cosplayers do is like creating these photos because they love these edits or these like movie poster edits or edits with other like cosplayers. Like I've done an edit with a friend in the West Coast where he takes a photo at home, I take a photo at home, we have like someone we know that edits our photo together. So it seems like we're together, but since it's a pandemic and we can't visit each other, we can like create content virtually. But
Nice.
as a first time cosplayer, cosplay any character you want, have fun with it, you know, ask for advice if you need. Like you can ask me for advice. I'm very responsive with my direct messages. I'm very informative with others. When I post, I always like to let people know when it's a final product, how I make the cosplay, where I get my materials, where they can get the suit, where they can get the pattern, things like that. If you're a con goer, it's great. Go with, your family, your friends. But when you go to a Comic Con, it's a culture shock because it's totally different from like going to a concert or a, festival or a outdoor like flea market. It's like, it's very loud and a lot of people there are outgoing. You're going to see different costumes and different people. And you have to have an open mind because people act different when they're in costume and they act like the character or they act more shy, act more outgoing. And, once you put that cosplay on, people are always like, let me be in character, but not, too much. Or whether, of course, if you're a Joker cosplay or Deadpool, you don't want to be so much into character because, those characters, there's another conversation, they have their own problematic, like,
Oh, trust me,
you know,
I know. I've cosplayed. I did a Joker cosplay back in 2019, which was a cross between Mark Hamill and Jack Nicholson Joker.
oh, nice.
That was fun. I actually had the make sure to buy the spats, and
There you go. So
I also committed to buy the chatter teeth just because.
there you go. See, and it's fun because some con goers they become cosplayers, or cosplayers are con goers too. Because for me, when I go to conventions, and my first time going to a convention, I actually use the Sundays of the cosplay weekend because I like to go all 3 days. I use Sunday as a day where I'm either in casual cosplay or not cosplaying at all. I'm a civilian, as you can say, and I just like to buy artwork or check out the artist alley, see what kind of fan art they have, or go to the vendors room, see what kind of merch they have as well. So yeah, just have fun. That's my number one advice is always to have fun, go with friends. If you don't want to go alone, just so you have a group.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely. Now, on to another question. Out of all the cosplays you've done over the years, what's that one cosplay that you haven't done in so long that you would consider bringing back?
Oh gosh, I haven't done in so long, but I want to bring back. So I will say it is Nightwing. I haven't worn Nightwing since early 2019. Like I did the red, like New 52 red version
Ooh.
in like February of 2019, but I haven't done the blue one since was it since I started. So I want to go back to the blue Nightwing and do that version just because that's my first cosplay ever. So I want to, give it justice and either I'm going to do it very sleek or do some armor or 3D printed like armor. But I want to do that really badly. Um
Nice.
yeah. That's the one that like. I like to like upgrade all my cosplays because I mainly have like I think a top four, top five where I like to always make upgrades and wear it because those are like my favorite characters and I feel very confident in those characters and you know friends and like people that I know me for those characters. So yeah.
Nice. And now, on the topic of casual cosplays, what is your thought And I usually get this is usually a positive response. What is your thought on thrifting, especially if you're a cosplayer on a budget or a first-time cosplayer?
Yes, thrifting is great. I did that virtually over the summer, but such a good it's a good space when you go thrifting, like either virtually or in person. Like there is, some stores are smaller spaces or like a big thrift shop, but it's very cost efficient. You can pick and choose. You don't have to have an accurate casual cosplay, but as long as you have the colors, you'll be good to go. And thrifting, you can buy cosplays like less than $20, and sometimes you even wear your casual cosplay as an everyday wear, which I love. Like sometimes I do that, and it's sometimes either people notice or it's like, I as long as I know that I'm what character I am, it's fine. But it's thrifting. I recommend it for everyone just because it's a fun way to create your characters in your own style, like your own fashion style.
Nice. I know I've actually noticed one of your casual cosplays has lately been your Loki.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Loki. Loki was very fun to cosplay because when the show came out, there's that concept of a multiverse and variants. So everyone can actually be a Loki cosplayer, whatever version they have. And with Loki, he's very like bold and grungy and very punk sometimes. And then he's also stylish and fashionable. So I got that Loki shirt because I saw it in the comic. Then I also did a version where he's wearing like a black mesh shirt and a green tank top underneath. So it still has that essence of black and green. But this version was more punk and grungy, like a 90s version. And I wore that to BlurredCon a couple weeks ago. So that was like a good casual cosplay. And especially with casual cosplay, let me know. If you're going to cons and it's summertime, casual cosplay is the way to go. It is hot.
Your best friend for sure.
That's what I did all weekend for BlurredCon. I did Loki and I did a casual SuperBoy, and it was a lifesaver because when you're at a con and it's 98 degrees outside, you do not want to be in spandex or in armor because you don't want your costume to melt, and you don't want to have a heat stroke.
No, it's probably best to like cosplay those type of character, like wearing those kind of outfits like around autumn and winter, where it'll be a lot cooler, so you're not, like you said, melting. Yes. And everything. Now
I love fall season.
Now, when cosplayers do those kind of cosplays, I know a good chunk of them, so they're not sweating. They usually use like the baby powder method.
Oh yeah, the talc method.
Have you used that yourself when you done like your Cyclops or Danny Phantom?
No. So I learned the hard way. That foam and hot glue do not go well with heat. If you have a armor and you have foam, it will melt. If you have glue on your foam, obviously, because it's connected, it will melt, as in it will like disconnect. So when I hosted a Marvel shoot in July of 2019, it was scorching hot. I should have canceled it, but we had like over 60 cosplayers. We're like, let's just get this over with. Let's shoot in 30 minutes and we're done. My Cyclops harness is actually 3D printed and everything is connected by Velcro and hot glue, because with hot glue, it's going to keep it sturdy. So my harness actually started coming apart, like falling apart because of the hot glue. So I just was like holding it, like, try to make it look natural, so it doesn't look awkward that I'm holding the harness because it fell apart because of the heat. So when I got home, the glue dried up. So I had to use a heat gun, heat it up, and then connect it back again. So now I learned, do not wear any armor or anything that has glue when it's hot. Just do casual cosplay. And that's what I've been, writing on. I'm not going to do any spandex or anything like that. And I haven't done like the baby powder method because I rather be comfortable when I'm at cons than being uncomfortable and sweating for like an hour and then take it off.
I've noticed that, and this from a few cosplayers I've interviewed, it seems that happens a lot. Like you're doing a photo shoot in this like big cosplay that you spent hours on, whether it's making it or buying the pieces for it, and as soon as that photo shoot's over, everything everything goes wrong. It's
everything comes off.
I'm not trying to laugh or anything. it seems to be a common occurrence for
Oh no, it is
cosplay photo shoots. Like you get it all
100.
done, you do your poses. As soon as the camera turns away, it's like your cosplay's like, okay, you're done. I'm just gonna fall apart now.
Yeah, just take the wig off, take the costume off, and you're done for the day. That's how I am. When I go to cons, I like to plan out my photo shoots just because at least if I'm going to the Comic Con like at 10 a.m. and I have shoots till 2, at least I can be like, okay, by 2 o'clock, I can start taking things off. I can go back to my hotel. I can wear casual, clothes, shower, eat, and then I can be comfortable and go hang out with my friends. So that's how I look at things, like, being very like me being very organized and OCD. I'm like, okay, I need to have a set schedule so I know when I'm going to take my costume off and I can be like, I am done. If anyone wants a picture, I am done by 4 o'clock. Please let me know because by 4 o'clock, when it hits 4 o'clock, I'm taking everything off and I'm done for the day.
Hey, there is nothing wrong with that at all.
Oh, yes.
Which I think most con goers need to know if they want a picture of they're like a cosplay they see, they better expect that the cosplayer may say no, because like you said, you could be
Yes.
done for the day to where you just want to wear your casual clothes, walk around the con, buy merch, look at the artist alley and everything, and which brings me to my next question. Well, not really a question, but I'm sure as well as I'm sure anyone who's listening know, cosplay does not mean consent.
Agreed. And when you're attending Comic Cons, a lot of con goers or people who are not even con goers, they like see you in passing, or of course, if a con is at a hotel, you have like strangers staying at the hotel. They're not a comic book fan, they're not a cosplay fan, they're not a con goer at all. So
There's always
sometimes
that
there's
weird
always one.
stare.
Yeah, there's always that weird stare, and there's always someone who wants a picture, and they think that, oh, you're Catwoman, so I can, like, grab you and things like that. They don't understand that, and, you have to, like, explain it, and you have to be aggressive sometimes because whether you're in costume or not, you shouldn't be touching anyone without their permission or grabbing anyone anywhere. When you get a picture, it's a picture. So I agree with that wholeheartedly. And, like, with me, it's when I go to cons and when you're eating, it's always a good etiquette. If someone's eating, you either wait for them to finish eating, or you can ask them like, "Hey, can I take a picture of you after you're done eating?" I've had people take pictures when I'm eating, like while I'm eating, and it's weird.
No.
Like, I mean, like, great, you're taking a photo of me eating, but please don't tag me because that is not appealing. But I totally,
That's one way to get yelled at, or get, or
yeah,
for someone to
but
get smacked.
I'm very like nice. I don't even when I'm eating and someone wants a picture, I'll stop and take a photo. But of course, if you're tired, I'm still nice. I'll be very kind and say like, "Hey, I'm eating. We can take a photo after," or I'm done cosplaying for the day. Like, you can see me in this cosplay tomorrow. But I don't if I don't and I'm very like friendly when I see friends at cons or friends that I've only met online, I see them, in person. I'm always like, hey, when you meet me, or when we meet up, face to face, say hi, no hugging from behind. Some people are very like, let me surprise you. And like, that's not good because, fast reflexes, you don't want to get punched or like hit in the throat. So always like,
Yeah,
face to face, if I initiate a hug, then a hug is going to be, is going to happen. If not, then like a high five or an elbow touch, things like that. Just because, it's like new people you're meeting, even though you know them online, it's always good to, have that first impression in person that you're being respectful of the other person. Like, and it goes both ways, like me respecting that person and them respecting me as well.
oh, no, it's definitely. Now, back to with one of your cosplays. What's that one cosplay that was a one and done cosplay? Like you did it once, and it was just like you haven't done it, and you haven't done it in so long that you may not consider bringing it back.
So I'm a huge comic book fan, and a lot of my cosplays are Marvel and DC. So I've tried anime, and I did Kakashi. So I'll bring him back, but I tried My Hero Academia is a anime show, and I love the show, and I tried doing one of the characters, Kirishima, and I did it once at a con for like a day on a Sunday, and I wasn't a huge fan of it. just because I love the show, but I didn't love like I didn't love it enough where I wanted to cosplay. But I was like, oh, let me take a shot and see if I actually like cosplaying this character, and I didn't at all. It was just like meh. I just wore it, walked around, taking pictures with people and stuff. But I wasn't like in character, and I usually want to be in character because I love the character. But I was like, you know what, this is not for me. So I actually just sold the cosplay last summer to someone online who was like, hey, are you taking commissions? And I was like, no, but I do have the Kirishima commission already, like cosplay already done. I wore it once, and I'm not, I love the work, but I'm not a huge fan in actually being the character. So it was like a one and done. Sold the cosplay, much respect. So
there's nothing wrong with that. Like there are people, like you said, who will try a character to see what it's like, and if they don't like it, that's totally understandable.
hmm
It's
yeah,
it's a test
a
run to
learning
see.
experience. Yep,
You
it's
know,
always like that. And then
that's
now
totally
I know,
fine.
like with me is like I know which characters like I actually really love. Like with Cyclops and Nightwing, I want to do like all the versions that I actually like because those are my top two favorite characters. I love Superboy a lot, so I want to do different variations of Superboy. So it's like those three characters I know that I love wearing and being confident in. So I look at what other version can I do, or what version do I want to do? Like if I don't like a certain version of Cyclops, then I won't cosplay that character because, of course, time and money, and then also it's not my favorite, so I wouldn't spend time
No,
and effort to actually cosplay that character, that version.
and I think people need to realize that cosplayers can be picky as well when it comes to a character.
Ah, yes, I'm very picky and very detailed, so that's why it takes me a while to actually finish a cosplay because upgrades are great. If you want to upgrade from foam armor to 3D printed because it's more sturdy, it's more, um, reliable. The thing is, when you're cosplaying, you're picky. You want to make sure you do the cosplay 100%. You give it justice, and you don't want to like, oh, I'm gonna just give 20%. I'm gonna wear it, and then I'm gonna upgrade it and like give 80%. I'm gonna wear it, and then like I'm not satisfied with it. Let me give it 200%. So although I've done that in the past where I've upgraded because I didn't put a lot of effort, I learned from quarantine that why would I want to waste more money upgrading so many times when I can just work on the cosplay for months, perfect it, and this can be like, a finished cosplay, and I can debut it whenever I want and wear it, and it's not gonna fall apart because I took all my time to make it, as perfect as possible.
That's again, that's totally understandable. Now, on that subject, taking a long time to make a cosplay. Have you ever had the con crunch where like it's like a week or a couple days before the con and you haven't finished the cosplay yet for said con?
Yes, I also sometimes bring my heat gun and my hot glue gun to the wherever I'm staying, like the hotel or Airbnb, because I still have last minute finishes and I need to sleep. So I was like, okay, let me sleep. But I've done where it's like 2 days beforehand, I've done day of, and it's mostly just finishing touches where they have to glue things. I have to try it on. Sometimes that's the thing that I need to work on. When I'm done with the cosplay, I need to try it all on. I think I don't do that well enough. I literally just finish a cosplay. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna debut at a con. That's a horrible like mistake. That's an advice I will tell everyone. If you're done with the cosplay and you're done building it, you perfected it, you've done all the gluing, all the straps, all the sealing, you have to put the costume and walk around your house because you're gonna figure out what you've done wrong, what's falling apart, and what you need to glue even more, or maybe you need to adjust one of the straps. You need to rearrange the armor because when you're wearing at a con and things fall apart, it's not a good look. And then you're just like, dang it. I've seen some people who were like, oh, this fell apart. I'm just gonna throw it away and redo it. And it's just like, no, don't throw it away. You can fix it.
Now, I've heard some stories where a cosplayer they like try to add more detail, but then that kind of
Yes.
that and
Uh,
I mean this in every way of saying this. It usually bites them in the ass. Like they think
oh,
they go that extra step, but then once they don't then
that is
I
no, that
don't.
is true though. I've done that. I've seen friends do it. It is like, oh, this yellow is, your initial yellow is perfect. But they were like, let me add a deeper yellow. And then you add the little dash of deep yellow. And then you look at it, you're just like, that looks so off. So now you have to paint the entire thing deep yellow, or you have to go back, lighten up the color, and go back to your original yellow. And it's like, what? It's like
It's,
sometimes it's a gut feeling because you don't know if your initial idea is great or you're having second thoughts.
I mean, I that's why I have to give like high respects to cosplayers who can literally make their own props or accessories and everything.
It's patience.
Which brings me to the next question. How did you go about making your visor for Cyclops?
So Cyclops visor was actually a friend of mine. I don't have a 3D printer, so that one is actually 3D printed. So he 3D printed it for me. I had to sand it down with wood. It was like this wood filler. So you have to, and it takes a while to sand. It took me like probably 5 times to sand it just so it's smooth. Then you have to seal it. Then you have to like spray it again just to see if you have any other creases from sanding. But that was spray painted and installing the LEDs. So you just like put red LEDs, and of course it's blinding. So when I turn it on, I close my eyes when I'm doing a photo shoot. But during the day, of course, you don't have the LEDs on just because no one can see the light. But when you're doing like a night shoot, or if a photographer wants to take a photo of it and put some FX Photoshop stuff, you just turn it on and close your eyes just so you don't blind yourself. But that was 3D printed. The harness was also 3D printed, but my initial cosplay of Cyclops in 2018, the harness was actually foam.
Really?
And then, yeah, it was foam. It was comfortable, but of course it fell apart because of the heat. I didn't learn my lesson until I'm just like, trial and error. But the 3D printed was great. The only thing about 3D printed I would say is it takes a lot of work just because you have to sand it, you have to paint it. It's sometimes a 10-step process. You have to adjust it, like you have to use a heat gun to make sure the harness fits, because since it's 3D printed, you have to melt it so you can adjust the shoulder straps. And it's heavy, 3D printed it's heavier than foam. When you're wearing foam,
Oh.
it's like like pillows. But what 3D printed, you're gonna sweat. You're gonna, it might scratch up your cosplay. So you have to make sure you sand it very well, because you don't want part of your maybe with my Cyclops with the harness. There's the belt. There's the pouches. So you want to make sure you sand the corners, because if it scratches your cosplay, it can run your cosplay. And you're just like, oh, dang. Either you order a new suit, which, nobody wants to do, or you just, make sure you sand it. So when your suit is, up against the pouches, it's not, making scratches or holes or anything like that.
Mind giving your friend who made the Cyclops visor a shout out?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think. Oh my, if he changes his handle. He did not. He is Tech Outreach. He's on Etsy and on Instagram. He is really, 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 really cool. He does sell already made 3D printed items on his Etsy shop, but he also does commissions. So you can send him a message on Instagram or Etsy. You can tell him I sent you. He'll give you a discount because he's really easy to work with. But he's done a lot of my 3D printed stuff. He actually 3D printed my wingdings for Nightwing when I do it.
Nice.
When I do it, I have my Robin cosplay right now that's all foam. I build him from foam. But the emblem for Robin, the R, is actually from Tech Outreach. So he 3D printed me that, and I sand it and painted. But that was a ongoing long project, because with foam I love to perfect it. So I did that cosplay over the summer, over quarantine. I debuted it earlier this year, so hopefully I can debut it at AwesomeCon, because I haven't shown anyone in person. So
I'm looking forward to seeing it. Now, a few more questions here. What is it like being a guest for a con?
To be very honest, when cons ask me to be a guest, I'm always like, what do I do to sell things at my booth? half of the time, I would say 80% of the time, I'm not in my booth because 100% of the time, I'm hosting photo shoots. So besides cosplaying and creating content, I love to host photo shoots because I give back to the community. I give back to my friends. I give back to small cosplayers or people who are new to cosplay to attend photo shoots for free and to like, network, to collaborate and to make friends. Because when I started, I attended these events and I really liked it, like the group photo shoot. So I was like, why not do it as well? So usually at cons, that's what I'm doing. I'm hosting photo shoots, talking with friends. When I'm at my booth, usually I'm like selling like stickers and like last time I went, it was like 2019 because 2020 was a pandemic. I sold like t-shirts and I sold stickers. So when you're at a when you're a guest at a Comic Con, it's actually really fun just because people know that you're going and you're like headlining, and then you can have like friends come to the con. You can have people from all over, the USA if they want to visit you because you're a guest. But it's great because you get to like talk to people one on one, especially if they haven't met you or they don't know who the cosplay guests are. It's a great way to learn. Um, but this is my first time at AwesomeCon next month that I'm being a guest and actually doing a demo. So it's called Foam Paints and Badass Crafting. So I'm doing a demo every day
Love the name.
for an hour. Yeah, for an hour. And basically what I'm doing is like I'm keeping the X-Acto knife in its case because I don't want any, problems. So what I'm doing is like I'm showing off tools that I use when I'm crafting. I'm gonna show off foams, different sizes, and the different paints that I use. So this is the most interactive I've been as a cosplay guest because usually, you sit back, you hang out, people talk to you, you sell stuff. But this is my first con where I'm actually doing like a demonstration every day, which is really good because at least people can get to know me, get to know my, what I make, my process. So yeah, I think it's fun. And I'm all about, talking to people. I'm a people person, so I like talking to people one on one in a group and helping out. So being cosplay guest is actually really fun.
Nice. Now, two more questions after this. Last one will be pretty much for ending this.
Yeah.
Would you any experience you'd like to share, whether it be funny, not funny, horror, basically any experience,
Oh
like
gosh.
a short story for like for a con. It's if you listen to these other podcasts, I always make sure to ask if anyone
Yes.
has this
Oh gosh.
experience to share.
This is a good part of the podcast. So, oh, that's my dog. I have two dogs in my bed, and they're like, I don't want to sit next to you. So I'm like, I have like my blanket as a barrier next to them, although they're like brother and sister. So sorry about that. It's
Yeah, you're
not me
fine.
growling. It's my dog.
You're fine. Some on occasion the cosplayer interview they'll have like a pet come in. The first time I did an
Yeah.
interview, the person's cat came in just meowing.
Yeah, there you go. So for me, what would be oh gosh, a funny a funny moment. I'm trying to think. A funny moment for me personally is when I actually, and I do this all the time, is when I go to a con, I'm excited for the con, and I put everything on, I'm there, and I don't have my shoes. So I was doing one time I was at a con and had to call my mom to bring me my shoes. So the entire con I was wearing flip-flops just because as Deadpool. So great. Without a mask because I didn't have my mask either. So it was like in this
Oh,
onesie with like, not even socks. It was like, like the suit has like it's like a leotard.
oh,
So I have flip-flops
I'm familiar with the Deadpool suit.
and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, like let me take an action shot." And I'm like, "Can we wait like an hour before I get my shoes? Maybe an hour and a half because my mom is taking her time to drive." But I was like, yeah, let me just, and I don't want to take off the costume because sometimes, it takes a while to put your costume on, especially like in spandex. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna walk around casually. People might think like I'm just casual cosplaying, but it's not serious because I need my shoes and I can't wear sneakers. That would look silly.
Mm.
So I was like, let me just wear flip flops. So at least once I do get my boots, I can just easily slip it on. But that's just like one moment. I will also say another moment is, when it's cold outside, Katsucon is a DC con as well. It's in
Ooh,
the National Harbor,
it can get
which
cold
is,
out there.
yes, and windy. So it's not my funny moment, but we all went outside. We had Sailor Moon costumes. Of course, we're wearing skirts and whatnot. And a friend of mine, her wig like flew, like in the trees, and that was hilarious because we had to ask security to help us get it. Because it flew a little bit higher than our, normal reach. So that was pretty funny because you're wearing your wig cap, so it looks like, you have like no hair. You have like this wig cap, and we're like trying to get this wig, and I was scared because I had to wear this blonde wig. I was like, oh my gosh! So I was like holding my wig, making sure it didn't fly away because I'd like also silly if my wig flew and stuck to a tree. So I mean, I wish I had more funny moments, but these are like experiences. I'm like, this is gonna be in the books for me.
So note to self: if you're wearing a wig and you're in a windy area, make sure it doesn't fly into a tree.
Yes, or put Velcro on your wig. I don't know.
I know,
Something
I know
like
some
straps,
wigs. I know some wigs come
like a
with like.
helmet.
I know some wigs like come with little hooks you can attach to the wig cap.
Oh, see, that's the thing. See, this is advice you're giving me. I thought those hooks were to hook to each other. I didn't know it hooked to the wig cap. I didn't know
I
until
mean,
now.
I mean,
So I'm
I'm
today's
I'm
years
I'm,
old.
I'm not sure, but that's like some good advice though.
Yeah, I know it is because I thought those two hooks were just to hook with each other, like left and right, hook it. I
Hmm.
didn't know you can hook it on the wig cap. Now I'm thinking about it. That makes total sense why the wig cap has holes in it.
It was something I was told, so I mean, I'm passing on what I
Well,
was
this is
told.
good. Well, I'm glad you pass it on because now I know.
Yeah,
Because
I mean, I'm
usually
not.
when I wear the wig caps, I'm like, why is it keeps on like moving on my head? And like some people, when I'm like, I see their wigs, I'm like, well, they're doing all these like action shots. The wig is like staying still. If I like do one like twirl, my wig like moves. So now I'm gonna try that the next time I wear a wig for a con and see if that works.
I don't know.
So thank you for the advice.
Hey, don't mention it. Now, to end this series, any last minute advice you'd like to share to those who are listening?
Yes. So beginner, advanced, intermediate, whatnot. When you're cosplaying, always have fun and join. We're in a time where we're all virtual, so join Facebook groups and you'll meet new friends virtually. You can like even meet them at cons, but always have a friend with you just so you have someone with you at a con, whether it's daytime or nighttime. You always want to be safe and have like codes between your friends just so when you're at cons and someone is being, inappropriate or, they're not listening to consent, you have someone to help you out in a scenario. And always, if you see something, say something at a con because it does happen. And, you want to have as much as possible, you want to have fun, but also you want to be safe.
Oh yeah, no. As the one thing I always mention, as long as other cosplayers do, always bring an exit buddy to a con, especially if it's your first con and you're debating if you want to go by yourself. I think it's good to bring an exit buddy with you.
Yep, exactly.
I think that should I think that should do it, I believe, unless you have any last minute thing you'd like to add in.
Well, I would just like to add, you guys can follow me on social media. I'm at That Shady Haze on all the major platforms like TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. If you need any advice or you want to follow for more like fun content and you need help with, making your cosplay, I'm always open for questions. I'll answer as much as possible and as detailed as possible, but YouTube is your friend. That's how I started. When I first started YouTube, it's a library of cosplay. So always use that as a reference to building your first costume.
Oh, definitely. And links to all those will be in the description below. So be sure to follow That Shady Haze on the social media platforms.
Thank you guys for listening, and I'm glad to share my story and
Oh no,
fun
definitely.
facts.
Again, thank you. That's the whole point of this. Again, everyone, I'm joined here by That Shady Haze. I am Wayne the Unknown. Thank you for listening, and until next time, thank you for watching Cosplay Con Talks. Get to know that cosplayer.